Coming up on Theater Talk.
There's a reason why small towns are small, because nobody wants to live there, you know. So
Theater Talk is made possible in part by the CUNY TV Foundation.
From New York City, this is Theater Talk. I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post.
And I'm the show's producer, Susan Haskins. Now, Michael, I had never heard of Green Day before this season, and suddenly they are the absolute toast of Broadway.
Yes, with a terrific new musical called American Idiot.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Directed by the brilliant Michael Mayer, who won a Tony Award for Spring Awakening, of course, and who's been a frequent guest on Theater Talk. So welcome back, Michael. And you brought with you someone who's new to me.
But is a major rock star.
And much of the Broadway world. One Billie Joe Armstrong, I believe.
with an IE, that's me.
A new composer and lyricist on Broadway. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Now, this is your Broadway debut, correct, Billie Joe?
Oh yeah.
And did you ever have, I mean, I know you've got this little career as a rock star.
Side project, side project.
But has Broadway been something that you've always wanted to do?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think we started, doing the record for American Idiot, and I think it was the first time, we'd already been a band for about, 12 years or something, so we were kind of thinking in terms like we wanted to expand the idea of making an album because we didn't feel like anybody was doing it. So we had, we had this song called Homecoming, and we had the song American Idiot, and the song Homecoming was sort of about a day in the life of me, Mike, and Trey, my other band members. And it was basically we were just taking 30-second clips and just adding them together, and we made this sort of beast of a song. It was like a 9-minute epic. And then we had the song American Idiot, which was, just feeling, alienated and feeling misrepresented in the Bush era.
Don't wanna be an American idiot. Don't want a nation under the new media.
And then we just thought, wouldn't it be great to make a concept record or a rock opera, and but also make it very political at the same time.
When you first heard American Idiot, the album, did you have any sense that this could be a musical?
Not immediately. I did.
You listened to it just because you liked the music.
I was a big fan of Green Day, and I was listening to American Idiot a lot when I was making the movie Flicka.
Yeah.
And I was driving up and down the PCH, and that was the CD that was in my rental car. So I listened to it day after day after day. I couldn't get enough of it. And it occurred to me that I was having the same kind of relationship with that album that I had with any number of musical albums that I would listen to over and over and over again. So a little thing went off deep down in my reptile brain that said this could be a rock opera that could be staged.
Did you like the sort of classic rock operas like Tommy, Jesus Christ Superstar that I think many began as concept albums? Did you like these things?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I got a Jesus Christ Superstar tattoo when I was. It's right here. And
That's the logo for the show.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I got it when I was about 19 years old. And I never heard the record. But I just thought, wow, that's a beautiful image. It was in my friend's record collection. And then, I just started when we wanted to start getting into like having more of a kind of a big monster theatrical piece or like rock theater. We had to start thinking outside of the box. So we started listening to different things like a quick one by The Who, Tommy by The Who, Ziggy Stardust, Spiders from Mars. We listened to the songs from like West Side Story, things from Hair, and just to try to figure out. We were learning how the dynamic of like changing scenes, like in a song like Jesus of Suburbia, to go from something that is so completely intensely angry, and then all of a sudden something is, you know, just drops down and is sort of, you know, beautiful, like, you know, you're trying to be more pretty or something.
Something gentle and tender to get the proper pacing of a musical. But
Exactly.
you heard that in the album when you listened to it?
Absolutely. The more I listened to the whole record, I started to really parse out a narrative that was very compelling to me about this kid, the Jesus of Suburbia, you know, waking up one day and realizing that this world he has inherited isn't really where he wants to be, and so he makes this journey to the city, and he meets St. Jimmy and this girl, and there's this triangle and an eventual homecoming.
So at the beginning of this show, they say, "I don't want to be an American Idiot." I mean, it sounds trivial. This is a very well-known album, but I'm coming new to it. What does that mean? What do they not want to be? What are they running from?
You know, at the time it was, you know, there's so much information overload, whether it's, you know, the things that you get from the internet. I think there was also the war in Iraq, where we were seeing reality television meeting, you know, journalism and war at the same time, and seeing these journalists embedded into tanks and going in, and I was just thinking, man, this is not a video game, you know, which I'm not, you know, that's what you see in a video game, and that's what was, and I was just trying to find out, like, well, what is it, what does this mean to me? Because I can't, I think one theme that's in my songs a lot, it's not necessarily anger, but it's the sense of feeling lost. And so with American Idiot, that's, you know, that's when we were, it was, so there was something self-deprecating about it, and you're like, I don't want to be this, even though I feel represented or misrepresented, you know. So, and then we were, after that, we were just thinking, like, well, who is this person and how does he break out? And the next thing after that naturally was Jesus of Suburbia, and then that was like, that was going down a very dark, you know, time in my past, and, you know, and but you know, giving it a character and a name to it.
It is very dark. One's going to, of course, see analogies to Hair as a, you know, an influence that you've evolved from that. But in that world of drugs and free love, there's a, and more, there's a light sort of at the end of the tunnel. Whereas in American Idiot, it's these people start out, they're not happy, they're unhappy from the get-go.
But trying to find happiness.
Trying to find happiness.
You know.
Why is it different? Is the culture change?
Well, you know, the big difference I would say between, like, maybe like the 60s era and, you know, and maybe now that we're in, you know, the 21st century, it's you know, people didn't know better when it drugs and the sexual revolution, and that was all a brand new thing, and nobody knew what the repercussions were. Right now, an era that we live in, I feel like it's old enough to know better, but too young to care, you know. And that's kind of what comes across, you know. I think, you know, Johnny, you know, who the character that John Gallagher plays, he really kind of goes into this world where he's trying to find truth, trying to find something, a deeper meaning in life, just whatever, you know, just give me something to believe in.
He's basically saying, I got to get out of this very stilted, boring life that I encase myself in.
Yeah, and it's like a, you know, it's like it's its own personal sociological experiment, because to break out of, there's a reason why small towns are small, because nobody wants to live there, you know. So you want something, you want to find more people, more, you know, more interesting people, and find something and go out